Hey guys, welcome back to another replay cast. Today's game is between Flash and Bisu. So a PvT for you today, a game played in August of 2025. And we are on Metropolis for today's game. And should be a good one. It was not played on the ladder because we cannot red versus blue it. It was probably just a practice game for the C9 clan between the two. And I think it's going to be a good one. These guys take their practice games pretty seriously. Flash was still streaming a lot of content at the time. Bisu streams very regularly, so chances are these guys are creating stream content for their viewers, which does tend to make for really compelling viewing. So I'm looking forward to today. PvT, always an interesting map for the purposes of Metropolis. I think many people will say that it is a slightly Paradox favored map just because of the challenges of holding onto the fourth. Obviously you've got the stacked mineral patches in the middle of the map, which Terran players tend to try and gravitate towards to hold the central position. So, you know, if I had to say in general, Flash versus Bisu, particularly in 2025, 2026, that sort of era, you'd think that Flash has got the edge, right? Like Flash is just a better player overall, and Bisu, you know, like his PvZ is just out of this world good. I think his PvP is obviously also very solid, but if he does have a weakness, you know, I dare say it is probably this match. It's definitely his like least convincing of all the games that he plays. So we'll see if we can give Flash a decent run for his money today. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that. So before we get into this, guys, I'm not going to plug the channel. This is probably one of the last games that I'm going to be doing, and then it's probably going to be the end of the road for me here in terms of Brood War. Nothing negative, just I think I've achieved everything there is to achieve in the game. From my point of view, obviously not, you know, there's plenty to be achieved, but just in terms of what I wanted to, I've kind of achieved all my goals. The opportunity cost of carrying on doing this is becoming a little bit too high, and there's other things that I want to be doing, and I don't know if I'll do a community post about it or whatever the case is. Maybe I'll be back one day on this channel doing something different, but in terms of Brood War, I will be done at the final week of June. The very last game that I'll do will be a Flash versus Jaedong. It just feels appropriate to do that one last. I'm doing a Bisu versus Flash, I'm doing a Bisu versus Jaedong, and I'm doing a Bisu versus Soma. And today I just recorded a snow troll game where he goes scouts, which is just probably one of my other favorite players in Brood War, and he just does so many wicked fun things. I felt that I wanted to go out doing some of my favorites, so that's what I have decided to do. I just want to say, because obviously not everybody has a chance to watch every game, so I am going to say this for the final 4 games that I do. Just thank you very much, everybody, for the support in the 7 or 8 months that I've been back. I really didn't expect to do as well as I have done, and to get the traction and the community engagement that I got. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and I will not disappear from the game of Brood War this time around. I just don't have the time to cast anymore, but I want to certainly be a much more contributory or contributing member of the Brood War community. I want to carry on watching ASL, and just stay a part of this great game in any small way that I can. Alright, so we are doing a Vulture expand against what looked like a rangeless expand, based on the fact that we don't yet have range and we have our Nexus. So both pretty standard opens. Cross spawns, obviously you feel like you can take a little more liberty as Bisu, which is what he's done. We have, with 5 hit points on our goon, we have forced a pro pull, which is suboptimal to say the least, but that is going to be the end of that. Second gateway on the way, so it's 2 gate robo. Bisu doesn't always strike me as the most amazing Reaver player, but he is prone to do it, so I reckon we will see some Reavers in this game. Flash is the best Vulture harassment and general Vulture control player in the world, hands down. Nobody's even close to second place. It's just so good what he can do. That being said, Bisu was famous for the Dragoons aren't bad, you're bad meme. So he can do his micro, although I've talked him up here and he may well end up disappointing me as a result. He seems to have aspirations to take a pretty fast third. He's behind on supply, so he's leaked a few workers here in the early game, and that's going to hurt. He's going to have to definitely power up and play through this. It is early enough in the game, though, I think, for him to be able to get away with it. Pretty quick armory from Flash, so looks like he's going to play an upgrade style. Has become progressively less fashionable in many ways to play this way, but he's definitely gonna have some ideas for our friend Bisu, that's for sure. So we are getting quite quick siege mode, but it's because we already have speed on our vultures, we already have mines, picks off that probe, and delaying his aspirations to expand further still. I think Bisu's been keen on expanding a while, and every time he gets somewhere, he is unable to get it done because of those meddling kids and of course those flash vultures. Same. Alright, so we're our latest possible bunker. I presume these SCVs were just here to block, and now they're going to repair. So he does have a nice big rim, and siege mode kicks in just in time, and we will now see Bisu pull back. I dare say double expansion might be on the menu. Ah, no, he's really not wanting to let him go, but he's walled this tight, so got to get up here. Okay, so the mines are now cleared, and we're going to get a very late third base if you are a Bisu fan. In fact, oh my god, that probe sniping, bro, come on! It's so good, it's bad. If you know what I mean. It's so good, so it's bad. Come on, bro. You know, give the guy a chance. He's only Bisu. You know, be gentle. Alright, he's going to try again. He's going to delay him to 8 minutes. And this just scales so well if you're Terran, right? Like, delaying your Protoss, this macro engine, just buys you so much time to get your upgrades going, to progress in your build, to potentially look at expanding to your third base location yourself. You know, all these things really do matter. So finally now third base does come in. We're getting our little wall of pylons. Nexus on the way, a couple of goons to protect against any vultures. The vulture play from Flash is unrelenting, right? He just seems to have the time to do the things all the time. And he's going for a 8-minute, well, not quite yet, because we don't have the, I'm actually just going to assume, I actually need to check before I assume there is no command center. We have a Reaver, and we are now harassing, or we've lost our observer there, we heard the observer die, but we're harassing Flash's attempts to set up and potentially expand to a third. So a bit of counter harassment on the econ side from Bisu to try and slow him down. Flash is like, bro, I don't give a damn about your Reaver. I'm just going to take my third base on location. I won't even float in the command center. Who does that? To Bisu's credit, though, he is double expanding. So my hunch that he would go from 2 to 3 and 3 to 4 pretty quickly does come through. Just slowing down, pulling back slightly here with his Dragoons. And yeah, man, it's looking really strong from a Terran's point of view, right? We have dropped in a Reaver, and we have aspirations to keep harassing. But now our Goliaths have arrived. Our shuttle is 1 hit point away from his funeral, so he gets out of dodge. And that'll probably be the end of the harassment. But if we just had to zoom in on the first 10 minutes of this game, Flash really strong, holding off the expansions of Protoss with really excellent vulture play, hitting his macro cycles, getting his build going, getting his upgrades going. He's got +1, he's getting vehicle plating as well. I presume another couple of factories, potentially a second armory, and then we could really see his upgrade scaling power explode. Bisu, on the other hand, is getting his probe numbers up, is now saturating his 4th, I presume. Yeah, here come the probes. So he should be able to power up his macro engine. We're just going with a lot of gateways with some Reaver support, double forge, although only one of them is spinning at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see if he's going to go with the double robo upgrade style. We are getting the Templar archive, so it's certainly going to be Storm. I don't think he'll play Arbiter. This is not 2016 Bisu, who seemed very in love with playing Arbiter. But we will see some sort of modern style of play, I think, from Bisu to challenge bases. And I think Flash may actually just sort of sit back here with 9 factories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, excuse me, 8 factories, 1 armory. And just power up nice and steady. Fifth base on the way from Bisu. So he's kind of identified that Flash is playing a... Oopsie. There we go. I clicked on the wrong button. We'll see who scans next time. My bad. I just had to get into the groove. It's actually mind-blowing the number of games I did, and I didn't check once where the Terrans scanned. Hey? Sometimes I feel like I just came such a long way, man. Alright, so sieging up. We could have some storms, some zealot bombs, all the things. Bisu does back away. Doesn't really want to take this fight too head on. This is scary though, dude. When Flash is up on your doorstep, he's kind of just scanning where the army is for now and moving forward. Gets a few storms out. Drops a Reaver. Oh! Friendly fire damage there. Excuse me. The friendly fire damage there really good. A couple of good storms as well. How do you play yourself out of this position? Just how is the question. It's kind of just scanning ahead to where he wants to go. See what he's up against. Sieges up a bit late here, and Bisu kind of pounces on this. Another zealot bomb, another zealot bomb. Most of these zealots have gotten around, and there aren't quite enough vultures to tank here. So the storm have softened these tanks up quite nicely, and Bisu is actually going to be able to hold ground, and a 40 supply gap opens up between the two players. Doesn't seem to have slowed Flash down much though. Flash is just like, you know what, I'll just power out 8 units out of my factories quickly and force Bisu to continuously contest here. Runs right up here, but he's in tank mode, so these zealots aren't trading too badly. Reaver arrives and does pick off a couple of vultures. Another decent scarab there. Really, really solid Reaver play actually. But somehow the supply gap has closed and the pressure is real. But a cycle of goons came out. A decent storm. It's just kind of slowing everything down. More vultures entering the game. Obviously, because he's got more goons in his comp, he should be able to handle this quite nicely. Wants to protect his high Templars. Does not want to lose goons to mines. Obviously, this very nicely placed observer here should help with that. Scans here. Sees the space. Where else did he scan? Scanned here. And he now wants to try and put some distance between Bisu's rally and his 4th base. And here we can see the harassment is about to begin. These cannons are not going to do a whole bunch of anything against 1-1 mech. He's going to have to pull the probes. He's dropping a shuttle with a Reaver in. Funny how Reavers don't do friendly fire damage, hey? And meanwhile, the army's been split off, so there's no vultures to tank for these tanks. Tank for your tanks, man. Come on. So Bisu takes advantage of the opportunity and pushes ahead and is going to force Flash back in a jiffy jiff. So does actually manage to hold on here for the time being. And seems keen on moving forward still. 1-1. We are getting No upgrades. So Flash has stopped with his upgrades, interestingly. And we're about to become 2-2 on our Protoss. We're getting an energy upgrade, a shuttle. So it's still just a single robo for the time being from our Protoss. Vultures here intercepting some probes. Does have a Reaver, but the Vultures are pretty fast. But they're not going to get past all these cannons, that's for sure. Zealot eating the mines. Scans up here. So Bisu once again, this time drops in his own units. I don't know if I missed a storm drop there or not. I don't think so. I think he pulled the units based on the number of workers that he's got there. So Flash is just unrelentingly pushing forward here. And Bisu is just mass shuttles. Again, kind of dropping everything here. Doesn't have that many tanks, so he's kind of kept the tank count fairly manageable for this style of play. And it has worked well for him. Although supplies are dead even, so now... now I'm not so sure. So rallying up some more units here. Still just 1-1. Is now getting +2 weapons on his units, his tanks. And Bisu again just constantly trying to slow him down. Does take the middle. These are stacked like on fastest map. I did have a game where I didn't understand that. Okay, we've definitely done a drop this time. And picked up about 7 probes or so before he pulled it. My apologies for missing the drop. I'm sure I'll hear about that one in the comments. Oh, he's just kind of leaving the shuttle here. Okay, that's cool. So it's got plenty of cannons and protection around. Decent base count. Should be able to keep trading quite nicely. Just kind of scanning all around the army just to see what Bisu has. He's just stuck with one robo all game. And just unrelenting, just hasn't not stopped making shuttles. So there's another double shuttle drop here. And should pick up about 14 or so ACVs. So this shuttle drops have been really, really good. He's kind of just left the shuttles here over the water. And just been reloading them the whole time. And Flash hasn't been able to get the turret count that he's needed to fend these speed shuttles off. So this speed shuttle play, whilst keeping him occupied here in the middle of the map, has really pulled him into a strong position in this game. Doesn't actually have a lot of... Okay, here come the shuttles now. I was going to say he's really somewhat inefficiently getting in here. There's a huge spread as well from Flash. But now the storms come in and oh my god, the number of SCVs you could get if you targeted them down. Big drops, and then the supplies from both players here are just absolutely tanking. Picks up High Templar for his trouble. Nicely managed from both players there. 131 plays 117. You'd say it's pretty much anybody's game. Flash now trying to put some pressure on one of Bisu's bases here. Does drop a Zealot and loses one tank to friendly fire. But I think it's only going to be one. And it's moving out pretty much the overwhelming majority of his armies. This should force a pretty big engagement here. Drops a couple more zealots on top. 2-1 on his units. What do we have on our Protoss units? We'll find out in a moment. So 2-2 on our Protoss units. So we're adding some more cannons, getting a bit of storm on the high ground. Probably a few more shuttles. There we go. So it does storm there. We still have this shuttle here. It's empty for the time being. Pulls the probes and he's going to chase them into this adjacent base, which has got a lot of cannons protecting it. So this probie though, he ain't going to last long. Alright, we're going to track this shuttle. Bisme thinks it's going to be an attempted another drop. Okay, there was shuttle number 1. But because the went down, this Nexus has also pretty much gone down here. So a nice little base trade situation happening. Bisu once again moving out with pretty much tier 1 units. Only really vultures here though protecting this middle base. So Bisu decides, well, your resources are pretty spread. I've got a lot of dragoons. You've got mainly vultures. I've got some storm support. You're in a very vulnerable spot if I take down this base of yours. And decides to hold back for the time being. He's got this base, has lost this. Flash is still held on here. There's some storms in here if he's willing to try and execute them. There we go. So he's going to kill... Oh my god, is he going to kill a lot of workers there. 15 workers there on that storm. And he's all up his nose here as well. If Flash loses... Oh my god, Flash has just been torn through here. So he's lost his middle position. He's lost these probes. And because I put the mockers on him, old Bisu, saying he couldn't possibly beat Flash, he's given he's given Flash a really solid hiding in this game. It's a good one, really good. So very happy I chose this one. I kind of feel like the random pack that I've gotten between these two has been slightly Flash favored. So it'll be nice to see Bisu and just Protoss in general, right? Just get a win on the board. Looks like we haven't had a Protoss win in too long. Too damn long. Okay, so we are going to re-establish here. Potentially establish here as well. I think Flash, I don't know if he feels this is playable. I don't think he does. Perhaps he just wants to have one last engagement. Once again, more drops. The story of this game, by the way, and I've been definitely not at my best in terms of tracking it, is the number of Shuttle Reaver storm drops on this specific base. I mean, that, in a nutshell, if I could attribute it to one thing, that was the thing that won Bisu this game. So thanks so much for watching this, guys. I think it'll be my last PVT. Yeah, I've got a PVZ to go and a TVZ, 2 TVZs. What is so okay, so yeah, so I've got 2 PVZs and a TVZ to go. So this will be my last PVT. Probably was my favorite match when I started with Brood War. But I reckon now it's become Protoss versus Terran. And in second place would be Terran versus Zerg. So this game is probably slid down, or this match is probably slid down to number 3. I still enjoy all of them. They're really good. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you tomorrow for a game between probably Bisu versus Jadon. So tune in for that. And until then, take it easy. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.